getting Latinos to vote Republican. That's what we'll talk about in today's video. You know, in 2004, George Bush lost the Latino vote by only 10 points to John Kerry. And then after that, he proposed immigration reform. It had something like that passed. The odds are that by 2008, the Republican Party would be winning the Latino vote instead of losing it heavily. And by 2012, we were wiped out in the Latino vote, like almost 3-1. But that trend need not continue, because at core, these voters are Republican. They're not Democrat, they're Republican. They're just like any other immigrant group that came to the United States. Irish, Italians, Germans, Welsh, Scots, Jews. They come in poor, identify with the Democratic Party. Tammany Hall used to run them. And then as they move up economically, because they're very ambitious and very upwardly mobile, they switch and begin to vote more and more Republican. The only group that has not followed that trajectory are African Americans. They used to vote Republican after Lincoln, and they stayed Republican until the Civil Rights Bill of 1964 passed. And then when Goldwater opposed that, and he was the Republican nominee, the blacks began to feel all Republicans were racist, and they stopped voting Republican and have voted 90% Democrat ever since. But if we can solve this immigration problem along the lines suggested by Senator Rubio, and by some of the others who've come up with bipartisan solutions about this, which essentially secure the border, put enforcement there, put in an e-verify system for employers, and then let those who are here continue to work here with green cards legally and have a path to citizenship that they have to go through over a good many years and taxes and fines and all kinds of stuff like that. If we make the immigration issue go away, the Latino voters are going to vote Republican. I've worked on 2 political campaigns in Mexico. Vicente Fox, who was elected president in 99, and Calderon, who was elected president in 2006. I worked on both of their campaigns. They were conservative candidates. They opposed the left, the Chavez left. And their whole focus was on family stability, upward mobility, working for a living, and moving up. The Latino population came to the United States seeking upward mobility. They are Republicans at heart. And when you say to them, which model would you like to see? The Italian, Irish, Jewish model of you come here, you work hard, you family-oriented, you move up, and you succeed? Or the African-American model, you come here, you remain cohesive as a group, you fight for political power, you seek to maximize entitlements, and you fight for your ethnic group as an ethnic group. They overwhelmingly prefer the traditional immigrant model. In fact, what a lot of them tell you is that they're determined to see that the United States doesn't become like the countries they left, with big government, big corruption, entitlements that bankrupt the system, and that they are scared to death of coming here and seeing their families break up, greater teen pregnancy. They for the most part, are pro-life. They're much more opposed to gay marriage than whites are. The only reason that they're voting Democrat is because they feel the Republicans are racist. And the only reason the Republicans who are opposing amnesty for them, there are other reasons, but the major reason is we're all afraid that they're going to come in and just vote Democrat. And that is not true. Now, bear in mind, the Latino vote is increasing dramatically. It was 5% of the vote in 2004. It was 7% of the vote in 2008. It was 11% of the vote this past election. And by 2020 and 2024, it's going to be up in the 20s as a percent of the vote. Texas, for example, will go the way of California if the Latino vote remains Democrat. So it's not just a question of these additional people joining the voting rolls. It's a question of the 35 million people that are already, 45 million people that are already here, U.S. citizens of Latino descent, and how they vote. And they're watching what we're doing about immigration and forming their opinions about the political parties. That's why the initiative of Rubio and the others is so important, so crucial that we grab this issue. This is not just a policy position. This is an existential issue for the Republican Party. If you want, like I do, for the United States of America to be what it's always been, and to be the bastion of opportunity and free enterprise and personal liberty, we better win the Latino vote, because otherwise we're going to get clobbered just like we did. And this is the key to it. Now, something new is happening. Tonight, I'm going to be on television, but it's going to be on CNN. That stands for Cable News Network. You know, it's one of those stations. I'm on the Piers Morgan Show at 9 o'clock tonight. And I'm going to be talking about immigration, and I'm going to be talking about what the Republican Party needs to do to come back. And it's a whole new thing for me, and I really hope that you take a minute to watch it, because I'd love to get your feedback and hope you enjoy it. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. That's 9 o'clock tonight.